What an exciting finish of that game. But we're back for game 2 between Zenith as well as LG China. Of course, coming up after that, we have tongfu versus Navi, which is definitely one of the more exciting East kind of versus.
Is it going to be more
match.
exciting than this one?
Well, that last game proved to be. I don't know. I feel like maybe we got the better series today because we know Zenith, even though it was kind of like a quote-unquote boring draft with more of the heroes that we see, Naga, Wisp, Kato, it's definitely a spin that we haven't seen too much. Having kind of like global gank, and then you kind of split push all the time. I feel that Zenith is going to do something pretty crazy again. They're going to open up with the Darkseer, and Darkseer does enable a ton of stuff, whether it's a wombo combo, whether it's chasing ganks, whether it's turtle. You know?
That wombo combo.
Yep. So you had your rares on Zenith, but you do expect LG to take the series. So you win both cases. You lose both cases. So you know, how do you feel?
I'm comfortable with that. I think that in 3 best of 3s that Zenith can take one. So 2-to-1 odds. That's okay. Zenith has my rares on that one, but Zenith needs to win the early game. They didn't win mid, even though it didn't really end up mattering too much, but they also definitely did not win bottom, especially with Keeper Light getting picked off, and they won top, but they had 3 healers. I wouldn't even say they won top. Yao still got a lot of farm. He got that early phase boost mech, and I like the Darkseer pick because it means that they can actually probably win the early game.
Maybe.
Well, they have a better chance.
They do ban out anti-mage as well. This is one of the earliest we've seen anti-mage being banned. Now back in TI2, that was a different story because it was definitely the carry of choice next to Morphling. How do you feel anti-mage, especially for LGD, who one of the team that used anti-mage the best, right? Compared to Alchemist as a drafting pick, do you think he's worth as much?
That's difficult to say. I think that because they weren't planning on picking Shadow Demon first, I think it is a good move to ban the Anti-Mage. Without the Shadow Demon, Anti-Mage is way more passive, better split pusher. I think they have their pros and cons, but Alchemist can just man mode anybody. And if you have to trade even farm, again, that's what we have been seeing a lot of teams doing. LGD is always fine taking Alchemist in the safe lane. You are going to almost certainly lose the farm war if you do safe lane carry versus safe lane carry. And I don't understand why teams keep giving people Alchemist and choose not to contest it. You either ban them out, or if you don't ban them out, like we saw last game, like we see this game and most other games, Alchemist just goes on a tear. He had like 9,000 gold at the end of the game. They didn't really have a solution for him. He could just whack through the Naga illusions, even though she was by far the most farm carry on Zenith's team, and they had Life Stealer, which really didn't do anything against Alchemist.
Naga was up by like 200 CS, but down by like 4,000, 5,000 net worth. So that just shows you the difference of what Alchemist could do with Greevil's Greed on the 1 row. So we see Weaver, and this is not your kind of standard counter pick Weaver against, you know, a gank-oriented team or against a Life Stealer of some sorts. It's just a straight-up Weaver pick. Sometimes we could say, you know, Weaver against Alchemist maybe it's a counter pick, but I really think that Zenith is going to be Zenith, and they're going to be up to some crazy, tricky
This is more aggressive, though. I like it. I like how they have the option of going aggressive triple with a Weaver versus a Shadow Demon. And, again, with the Wisp option last game, they didn't really have the option to contest Alchemist farm, but with this starter in a draft, I think that they can do so. So I really hope to see Zenith do that, so it'll be more of a contest early game. We had a really, dare I say it, boring
early game
super
phase.
Boring early mid-game phase. I mean, mid-game was just Naga split pushing everything. But again, contest Alchemist, try and shut down Sylar's game, and just slow down LGD in general. If they have these core items on their heroes, whether it's 1 or 2 farming items on Alchemist or a Blink Dagger on Magnus, they're just so comfortable at playing the game from there on out. I think they need to try and disrupt their flow in the first 15 minutes, especially in the first 6 minutes in the laning phase before the first night, and try and take the game from there.
Now, we're making all these analysis on the assumption that Alchemist will play that 1 row, and it seems like he will be playing that 1 row because now Magnus is selected. It's still not 100% because we've definitely seen LGD put Magnus on the long lane, give it to Yao to let him pilot it, and then you definitely can still see this Alchemist on the solo mid position being handled by Xiao A, and maybe even a different 1 row carry from LGD. But now it looks like it's a very similar kind of a situation as last game.
LGD going with the tried and true.
Yeah, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't need to fix it.
So, at least they don't have the Darkseer and the Magnus. That's just a pretty brutal combo to deal with. And they don't have Shadow Demon plus AM. That's also a very brutal combo to deal with. But Magnus and Alchemist, I mean, we just saw him just pumped up with Empower. He pretty much 7-slotted with that. He doesn't need to go Battle Fury when he has Empower. And again, very solid, passive, safe draft from LGD. Alchemist, Shadow Demon, Jakiro most likely in safe lane. Magnus solo mid. There is still a Windrunner available. They may try and choose that, although I don't think she fares as well versus the Weaver or the Darkseer. I think they may pick a hero better suited to the matchup, but I feel like we already feel what LGD is going to do.
Yeah, one big difference that we saw from the draft from LG Gaming last game was they went Alchemist in like the very first pick, I think. And then they also picked up Windrunner quite early. And Windrunner is definitely one of the, again, forgotten long lane. And now we see an Obsidian Destroyer being picked out here. Maybe taking a page out of the Orange playbook. And now this hero kind of, well, he will beat Magnus 1v1 easily. And in terms of against the Alchemist in late game, BKB might be an issue. I really think that OD matches favorably against Alchemist.
Yeah, I think it's okay, but the problem is they don't have anything for BKB. They don't have anything that can just man mode on the Alchemist. You pretty much just try to kite him.
Yeah.
I feel like they had better anti-BKB last game. They have the sleep to sleep everyone's team. They have the net to try and keep him in place during his Chemical Rage BKB. But with OD, it's like...
This lineup, you have a lot of ways to run away. Sakuchi's one, Surge for your allies, Astral Imprisonment to either disrupt the Alchemist or disrupt whoever he's focusing. And I feel like once Alchemist has his BKB to the 4-second, that's...
The thing about it was, Sylar was very good about not using his BKB that much. I think it was like 7 seconds, 40-something minutes in.
Yeah.
And at the same time that Zenith has good spells to kite and run away, LGD has a lot of spells to lock you in place. Magnus into Unstable Concoction into Ice Path, and they have Demonic Purge. They have, like, we saw the Magnus just get like super sacked too. If they had to deal with a Refresher, Hearts, BKB, Blink Magnus, it's just going to be absolute hell for Zenith in these team fights.
But if the game goes to scripted the way, and then we see a Nature's Prophet, that's going to be Yao's hero on the long lane. But if we do see OD getting things like Hex, Force Staff, and if it just goes late enough...
It really depends on the early game. I feel like this early game is much more... it's much more up to Zenith, and it's going to impact the late game a lot more than Puck losing the mid matchup last game.
Right, they definitely have the heroes to impact the early game. Last game they had Wisp and Keeper, and those two supports are not exactly what you want to be at. Rubik is not bad in terms of roam and gank, in terms of pulling or ganking or in-lane harassment. This last support will really define how they want to kind of draft. I'm expecting something more of an aggressive support. Lina would do fine here. Or, let's see if they're going to have something crazy up their sleeves.
I think that Nature's Prophet will get destroyed in the off lane. I fully expect him to start
I think
off
he
in
just
the jungle.
abandoned. Yeah, he just go jungle. And then
he can't really stand up to it. But again, plays well into LGD's playstyle, getting that farm up for the first 15 minutes, and then playing very safe Dota after then. This last Zenith pick, I think they could get away with like a tree pick here and just let...
Tree's banned.
Oh, Tree is banned?
Yeah.
Well, that's unfortunate. I was looking forward to Weaver going crazy with Living Armor before he gets nerfed, but no such luck today. I actually don't
Merlini confirmed Tree Lover.
I mean,
get the pitchfork out, guys.
I'm so glad that Living Armor is getting nerfed, but it is fun to see Weaver just go absolutely crazy with that, and even Darkseer. So Zenith, nothing too out of the ordinary here.
Oh, it's gonna be a support Juggernaut? Question mark?
Question mark?
That's the Ice plays it, so that's an off-lane Juggernaut. Support Darkseer, which is seen sometimes. Dignitas plays it sometimes like that. I do believe LGD played it like that once or twice in the past. And it's going to be X-Freedom playing it, so yeah, it is support Juggernaut.
You could have Ion Shell plus Blade Fury. Oh my goodness, that would destroy if they actually could pull the combo
I think
off.
you just Ion Shell Jungle, which we've seen in the past, but that's definitely more effective, right?
I mean, we'll see what they do. I would love to see it. I'm always a fan of more action than less. If it's just a passive farming game, I might fall asleep after 10 minutes, but we will see. Zenith.
Wait. What if Darkseer just go into Prophet's Jungle and just go...
Oh, that would be amazing. I would love that. I think it's just going to be a Weaver plus a Rubik safe lane farm with the Darkseer in the jungle, or just Darkseer in the off lane. Looks like he starts off with a Stout Shield as well as the Chicken. And yeah, I solo off lane. I think they're just going to have Freedom farm the jungle. So you want to go ahead and introduce the lineups?
Yeah, let's do that here. Yao's gonna be playing. Oh no, Yao's not gonna. Oh. All right, I was like, Yao's gonna be playing the Nature's Prophet, and it wasn't his name. He has the Magnus right now. He has a solo mid build. I am very sure they're gonna swap. If they don't, it's gonna be Yao solo mid. Meanwhile, Xiao Aid's gonna be having the Nature's Prophet, at least for now. DD's gonna be handling the Jakiro. We have Sylar playing the one role Alchemist again. And last but not least, Shadow Demon will be handled by DDC.
Yep, and on the side of Zenith, we have Freedom on the Darkseer, having to buy that chicken. I think he's going to start off in the jungle. We have Ice, solo off lane with boots first. No pulling yet for him. We have Yamate and WP on the most likely solo mid Obsidian, or sorry, Outworld Devour. I hate that name change. XY on the Weaver, and Ice on the Rubik.
He's Obsidian. He really is.
Obsidian OD.
Yeah, Obsidian Destroyer.
Some things will never change. I still call Lifestealer Nags. We'll still call EO Wisp.
I have gotten away from calling him Furion because...
Oh, I still call him Furion.
Okay, fair enough. All right, here's the one thing I do want to ask you about Juggernaut offlane. We've seen Ice play this role many times in the past, and there's no in between. He either just wins the lane very hard or he tanks and he fails. Against this particular lineup of Alchemist, Jakiro, and Shadow Demon, they're not going to kill him per se because you can always spin away from any type of initiation.
I
Do you think he's going to get anything done?
I think you can't actually spin out of like an Ice Pass sitting under Disrupt. I actually had this come up.
Right. But it's like a 0.5 second stun. You're not going to kill him.
Right, that's true. So, I mean, if you can get the Alchemist stun right after, if they can coordinate that correctly, I think that Ice is going to get owned. And LGD, they play this safely in Alchemist so many times. They play Jakiro a lot as well as Shadow Demon. I think they will have enough coordination to just blow Ice though. I don't think that he'll have too much success in his offlane, but I hope he proves me wrong.
Yeah. Well, he is
for
going
my
to have
rare
to for your rare sake. I like how you added it to the end because that's why you think you want him to win that offlane. Now the boost of speed is going to be fairly important considering that Shadow Demon's initiation range isn't too long with the disruption, and with boots, if you see him coming far away enough, you should be able to kind of outrun him.
You mentioned how Yao was actually playing the Magnus mid. I'm actually surprised that they did a switch. Xiaowei had a couple of iffy RPs, but I feel like he played very decently in the latter half of the game.
Yeah. Maybe he wasn't too happy with the Magnus performance himself, so he is a captain, he's calling shots. He say, let me do the offlane prophet. And it's going to be, so far, a 1v1 matchup in the Weaver versus...
Weaver is going to
destroy him hard.
Especially with him starting off with this little mana.
Well, unless you pull and do some crazy shenanigans. This is support in position to kind of disrupt this pull. You could lift and stun the other one, but the micros...
Man, Ice has some balls running up this hill. Oh my goodness, that is super
He's got
ballsy.
boots, he's got spin. They're not going to kill him. There you go. But they even got on dual breath first. Actually, if Alchemist comes here with a stun...
Nope, Greed was greed. Gotta play greedy.
My man, Sylar, you know what to do. And actually, he's actually giving up at least an entire quick wave for this kill attempt. DDC not going to have Disrupt. And Sylar is like, yo, guys.
Ice really wants to block this 1 minute spawn. I think that's definitely his goal, and I will see whether he's going to do it. Nope.
No,
he's way too far away. He needs to do that, though. Yeah. He's going to get so owned without the pull.
And this is what I mean about, either he's assess.
Oh, look on bottom lane. Xiao 8. Wow, the rotation from Ice.
Can you say that sooner?
I saw him go down. It was just like the last hit from Weaver. I was too...
Meanwhile, DDC in big trouble here, running for that tier 2. Ice not going to go for it. But, I mean, he's actually doing a very good job. He's saying that he's getting 0 XP, but he's preventing DD to get any XP. DD, just go back to the tower, man. He's up and boots on you. DD is just playing close to the bones here. Oh, he's... Okay. All right, Centaur joining the fray. No stomp. Like, he could have stomped there. And Ice just...
He's looking for more blood.
Okay.
This is exciting already.
What is DD doing? Okay. All right. This is just...
He's out of regen, though. He's at 233 HP. Not enough mana for spin. Looks like he is going the long way around.
Is he looking for the courier?
I think he just wants to go the long way. I think he's just smart enough to suicide Anxious right now. Buy a TP scroll so you can still get some XP somewhere. He's absolutely useless at this point. He can get a couple of right clicks.
He's going to dive Xiao 8. No, he's...
2 minute rune. No luck there. There is a regen, but it is top rune. Looks like it is going to go in Yao's favor, too. Big blows to Yamata in middle.
Yeah, new meta, guys. Roaming Juggernaut.
With no mana?
With no mana. No levels.
Oh, no, wait. He got pulled a Clarity Potion from Ice. And is he going to use it? Yes, he is.
He's not going back home. Okay, guys. This is what he did. I'm drawing on the minimap. This is so next level.
I'm surprised like he didn't actually get pulled at the start. I feel like he could have returned the lane had he gotten pulled one more set of regen, either a Clarity or a Salve, and spent a lot more time actually getting experience instead of sitting at absolutely 0 XP.
All right, I think we've been focusing maybe a little bit too much on him. Let's check out the other lane. Yamate is dominating this lane as expected. Now, leading a lot in terms of CS. Yao cannot really BF, sure, he's got full mana with regen, but you can't really spam anything because he's got 65. Meanwhile, Ice on the bot lane here is preventing a ton of pulling being done by Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet giving out that first blood. As expected, finally, Zenith is going to win this early game phase, apart from that kind of awkward top lane.
I like how the Weaver actually went with a 6 Tango build instead of an early Tranquils or an early Salve. This will allow him to continue to have a lot of regen and not really have to worry about the Sprout, just because it is very common for Weavers to tower dive this early, especially in this easy of a matchup. I'm also curious to see what build Yamato is going to go. I've seen Korok rush an Orchid after getting a Midas. I've seen a lot of people get 4 Staff. He could just go for straight Sheep. There are many different things he could go. I think that 4 Staff is probably the safer build here, but I think it will direct how this mid game is going to go.
Yeah, Yamate generally likes to rush for the Hex first. He's kind of a greedy player, and so far he does only have the lane dominance to do it here. A Sayonara Shockwave just before he gets banished away into the depths of the hell, I guess. Double damage is going to get secured by Yamate in the full bottle charge. Very nicely done. Top lane here, they're going to make a go here as, well, there is going to be a search back out on Freedom.
I feel like this level 1 dual breath is just not working out for them. They possibly could have gone for a kill with that, but I like this rotation from Zenith. They have a level 4 Darkseer and a level 1 Juggernaut, yes, and he's helping them put a lot of pressure on this Alchemist. Again, shutting down Alchemist farm is just so important. If you just let him get a, 5-minute minus like he did last game, looks like he's probably going to get a 5-minute minus this game, things don't look good.
I'm not sure whether you can get a 5-minute minus this game, considering the hero lineup of Zenith is a little bit more aggressive early. Perhaps after seeing heroes like Wisp and Keeper and Naga that's farming Relic, you feel like you could get away with it. Although, as I say that, Sylar, is he? Yep, he is.
Gotta get that minus. I mean, if you find it in 5 minutes time, it's just so good. It accelerates your farm a lot, and you really do need those levels when you're in this triple lane.
Nice, still level 1. I'm wondering what I'm actually very curious what the exact game plan for him is. He's disrupting the supports a ton, but despite of that, they're both level 2 and 3 respectively, so I don't know.
Yeah, so on the side of Zenith, I guess we can consider Freedom kind of a support since he was starting off in the jungle. He's level 5, Rubik is level 3, and meanwhile we have a level 2 and a level 3 Jakiro and Shadow Demon respectively on LGD.
Yeah. XY though is doing a very good job on the bot lane, at least manhandling Xiao. Xiao is just not having a good day here. At least in the laning phase for now.
Yeah, once you get that early first blood, this is really difficult for you to recover. Checking out XY's build, looks like he's already gone for an early treads. I like how he went this early aggression build, not like a... Ooh,
yeah, XY's going right in there. Swarm's going to be used as well. XY or Xiao is going to TP right now, and he will maybe go the Sakuchi, the last Sakuchi for the 60 damage. Not going to be enough, or 100 damage. Xiao barely making it back, but that's, you know, a lot of times that he's not farming right under the tower. And XY continue to dominate. I like how you talk about the Tango build. He started with 2 Tango. You generally can't do that against many other heroes, but of course Nature's Prophet doesn't have that nuke. So
he's going to go jungle now. He's done with bottom.
He really was done in the bottom after that first plus. So here comes a ton of creep wave going towards Ice.
Look at OD. Look at where he is. He fully expects Magnus to go in between the T1 and the T2 because he's so low, but figuring that he's going to waste his time. Wow, he was just off by maybe 5 seconds there. I'm surprised that Magnus didn't head back there earlier. He would almost certainly been dead.
Maybe Magnus expected it. I'm not sure.
So we see a 0-4-2-1 build from OD. Some of them go Arcane or very early to put out that additional pressure, but no such choice from Yamata. Again, a little bit more of a greedy build, as you said.
Yeah, I feel like you don't really need to go for that orb. Your base damage is already so high. Like level 7, he's got 80 base damage, and of course you're stealing 8 damage per use of Astral Imprisonment at level 7. Like, you should have enough in terms of just raw physical right click, unless you really need that extra bit of damage.
Ooh, Ice still trying to mess with him. He's level 3 though. He's recovered somewhat well. He does have spin TP in case he gets into any hairy situations. Barring an RP, he should be able to escape. And he is trying to... He's just constantly messing with
I don't even know what he's trying to do. Like, he's trying to do something, but...
He's taunting them.
Xiao A. I wonder what item he's going to go for here. What do you recommend? Do you recommend...
He's probably going to go Midas.
Midas to catch up? I mean, some players
Mech would be good, too.
Yeah, sure. Like, a lot of players like to go for Mech and Treads, just to say, you know what, that's not what I'm trying to do. I already have an Alchemist that will carry us late. And, well, looks like Disruption. Ice Path is going to fly out right now, and... Was he even stunned? No, they're going to TP. Now Ice is going to go to the right side. Unfortunately, DD doing the correct smart thing, waiting it out. Dual Breath for the pickoff, and with the TP on Xiao 8, they will actually get this tier 1 tower unless there is some rotation. Freedom already going up top.
Yes, Siler actually had a small window where he could have unstable concoction. He was a little bit too far away. With that level 2 ice path, it is only a 1.4 second delay, and it was traveling in the air before he spun. It could have been a little bit close if Xiaowei had not TP'd in, but going early Basilius build, trying to pressure out towers, that is also a good build for him. Try and get back into the game by pressuring all these towers, forcing Zenith to... Ooh.
Ice gonna spin
look at that
with it.
damage.
Yeah, look at the damage output is insane. Here comes the Weaver. Weaver is gonna get stunned up. Ice Path's gonna follow through, and the healing ward trying to do some magic, not gonna be there. Ice should back off as well. Good attempt here for a deny from Ice spinning in there and chasing for a kill, but Weaver teleporting in and dying there after having a fantastic start in the bot lane. Really a lot of momentum being lost. Again, we expect LGD to lose the early game laning phase.
They're ahead in kills.
They're ahead, yeah.
Not in terms of gold and XP, though. Even after that tower, gold difference still about 400 in favor of LGD. XP, or sorry, in favor of Zenith. And the XP graph about 2,000 in favor. So,
but look at the net worth on Alchemist. He's 1,600 gold away.
He's super scary.
Yeah, ahead of Yamate. He's almost...
And they have these stacks. Look at this triple stack.
Oh my god. Well, it was a lot of it was thanks to the Juggernaut, who was kind of stacking in and out for him, and Sylar says, thank you.
That's so much gold for him. Sylar is going to be super rich. We're probably going to see another 10, 11 minute Shadow Blade Midas treads.
So my question to you, Merlini, is that last game he went for the straight up Grievous Greed max by 7. This game is actually going for a fairly early acid spray. Any thoughts on, you know, why holding back on the Grievous Greed and start getting this spray a little bit earlier?
I don't actually know why he did that. I think that leveling unstable concoction might be a little bit better. It might just be to take out the stacks. Again, they have been rotating quite a bit of heroes top. They rotated Darkseer in earlier. They just rotated Weaver. So, again, it's not as uncontested as last game where they pretty much just let the T1 fall without any sort of contest. And because of that, you do have to go some sort of early game. He does have a magic stick as well. He's very well equipped to handle this slight early game pressure from Zenith.
Yeah, maybe he's expecting some sort of an earlier push coming out from Zenith as well. So that's why having a bigger acid spray a little bit more helpful. Yao back in the mid lane, still losing it fairly hard to Yamate, who CS-wise now doubles the CS on Magnus. We generally don't see a mid lane lose this badly, but when you have a hero like OD, that could definitely happen.
That's what you expect. But, I mean, Yamata doing very well, and only a 10-minute Arcane Boots on Yao. That's very slow for most Magnuses. But, again, this is a difficult matchup. We won't see an early blink like last game. I think that could definitely work in Zenith's favor. Let's check out the Darkseer items. I haven't seen too much of him. He rotated top for a little bit, but he doesn't even... I thought he would be a lot closer to his mech by now.
He's okay. I mean,
he's doing all right.
He's got Arcane Boots instead of Soul Ring, so that's 200 gold more. Are we going to see a kill attempt
on ice?
Yeah, no lift just yet. There is ultimate available, but they do steal away a Shockwave. Not a bad spell.
Yeah, it's so good on Rubik. He has such a low cast animation. Oh, they will scout out these sentries, though. I think LGD has been doing a fantastic job with sentries. They had one on top earlier when the Weaver tried to rotate, and they had one in mid now. Just very aware of what's going on, and Weaver is kind of forced to just farm up more items in this situation.
Are we going to see a Radiance Weaver? I'm getting giddy just thinking about this. Since the Radiance buff, I feel like Radiance is... on some of these more kind of older heroes, Swarm's going to be using. Yao already TP in. Does he have a teleport scroll? He needs to get out of there right now. He doesn't. He's going to walk back to the tier 3. TP comes in from DD to rescue him.
That is aggressive, going at that T3.
But you know you're always going to be fine, because what really true stun do they have? RP is easily dodged. You have time lapse, so...
Xiao 8 looks like he's going for a Midas 2. 1940 gold in his bank. I would be very surprised if he didn't pick one up. But, I mean, the second choice is mech. I think he will probably pick up one of those two items.
I don't think they need a mech
I don't
desperately.
Think so
yeah, so they should be fine.
I think they win the farm war at this point. Just because Juggernaut's so far behind, Weaver with that rotation top and dying, that hurt him a lot. And, yep, looks like a Midas.
Yep.
More farm.
Of course, the Alchemist does pick up his Shadow Blade. A full 2 minute behind here compared to last game. Spin comes in from Ice. I'm not sure what that was about. Maybe he thought the channeling of the Sun of Alchemist is happening, but... No. Yamate back in the mid lane has a 4-staff finish, double damage under him. I imagine with the 4-staff now, he is gonna go straight Hex. There's just no any other item.
It's so good versus Magnus.
Yeah. I guess there is Rod of Atos. That's always an option, but
Atos.
You don't go a solo mid OD with the best farm on this team to go Atos, right?
That earned Juggernaut.
Really?
Yep.
Well, you gotta get a kill first to get that urn going. Zing!
Oh, score only 2-3 right now, slightly in favor of LGD. Again, the charts are still favoring Zenith, though. We see 1,000 gold or 1,000 XP difference in favor of Zenith and about 1,500 gold in favor of Zenith, but that will change very quickly once those Midases start kicking in, which is going to be pretty soon. Greevil's greed is just incredible. He has so much gold. I keep looking at him, and it's just more and more and more gold. He's farming just pretty close at a T2 right now. He was farming a little bit closer earlier. Not a care in the world.
Here comes that level 1 tower push on the mid lane. Ice running past the tower. Disruption is going to be used. Soul Catcher. RP. It's worth the RP, but the spin's going to really destroy him. He's going to try to TP out. He says no. RP, Macro Pyre, Dual Breath on top, and Ice. Well, that was questionable. Sun's going to go on Yamate, and Xiaowei survives with 10 HP, and he's still surviving. Force that forward, and Urn is going to be killing him. Meanwhile, Weaver is going to be on the run as well. Sentry already dropped down on Sylar. He's looking for some kill. No, that is actually a Radiant Sentry. And wait, who did Weaver kill?
Weaver killed Shadow Demon.
Oh, okay.
So a little bit of a sloppy fight there. I think that Ice kind of overextended just a little bit.
Yeah,
being
just a
behind
little
the tower.
bit.
His team can't follow him in is the problem because they'll just get all RP that tower and just destroyed from the mass AoE by LGD. But, I mean, they were ready for that. I don't think they're far enough ahead to push like that. I mean, I think they're better at split pushing. Looking at the graph right now, that just totally gave away any sort of early game advantage that they had. Again, with the Midases kicking in, things are starting to look very bad for Zenith. They need to sort of catch up and farm. They need to mech up on a Darkseer. Looks like he's just 40 gold away. I'm surprised they didn't wait for that to push. Usually you want to push as soon as you get your mech, not any time before, unless you have a couple of pickoffs. And they'll just make Magnus's Blink Dagger. I mean, he's halfway there already.
Yeah, I just want to point out, if you look at the last hit chart, it looks like the Radiant's farming a lot better. A ton of heroes on 80 plus CS on the Radiant side, but the big difference about these heroes is that they are not actually good split farmers. Split pushers they're not really good flash farmers as well. What is OD gonna farm outside the laning stage? What is Weaver gonna farm outside the laning stage? By comparison, you have Empower Magnus.
Oh,
you have
Sylar on top. Oh no, I thought he was gonna Unstable Concoction and Shadowblade in, but nope, just resorting to farm.
Just want that farm. Yeah, and Sylar, Empower Sylar. Hidden creeps, you have Wrath of Nature and the farming of Xiaowei.
They find Weaver on top.
Oh, they're going to try to kill him going back in time to XY, but he's still under the fire. The stun will hit, a couple more right clicks. That Sentry Ward doing a ton of work there, and LGD picks up that one kill. And again, LGD could farm so much better, but Zenith is showing no sign that they want to make any type of early game aggression. They did try to push that tier 1 tower, but it didn't really work out. So I really think that Zenith is working on a ticking clock. They just can't go late game. They don't farm as fast. They don't really split push as well, and I'm not sure what the exact late game plan is.
Yeah, I
Zenith
mean,
is.
yeah, that's a very important point that they can't actually split push right now. Weaver is trying to. He's desperately trying to farm his Lincolns too in the process, but just not finding any room anywhere to farm. I didn't think that Zenith did their lanes properly. Like, again, Juggernaut didn't really get anything out of top, although they did win mid and win bottom. Like, past the 5-minute phase, it definitely shifted in favor of LGD. Juggernaut, not really useful at this point. He has Healing Ward, but they have so much burst damage on LGD. If you get hit by RP, you're going to die, Healing Ward or none.
Yeah, and Weaver's farming for a Lincoln Sphere, so in my opinion right now, Zenith has 4 or 5 useless heroes.
Oh, I see a smoke, though. I think the Treant may have seen that. I don't see any pings out from LGD, though.
No pings just yet. Yeah, it's going to be a Zenith ping. Behind the hill, they want to do some big backstab. Get a kill. Get the tower surge back in. They want to perhaps use Omni Slash. It's available right now. No Omni Slash just yet. Sentry is going to find out on XY. He should be absolutely fine, though, because and the Omni Slash comes in. He's going to be spinning away for DDC. DDC, no self-disrupt there for the kill. I think he used it already. Disruption here to dispel the stun here. And Magnus gets picked up. No RP being used. So great fight for Zenith. Vacuum backwards. Nothing. No kill going towards a favor of
This
LGD.
is what they need to do. They have an aggressive lineup, and they have a lot of good Ion Shell crush LGD. They were prepared for it too.
Right.
They pings it out. They had a Sentry Ward, but still losing the fight. This is exactly what they need to do.
I take back what I said about farming for useless items. XY still being able to contribute just by running in, use spelling alone, but they still need to siege on this tower. This Acid Spray doing a ton of work, and tower's still alive.
Delaying that Magnus Blink Dagger is so important. 1,200 gold right now. They found a kill on him, unable to get a tower, but still a big win for Zenith. They show that they can fight. They make LG a little bit scared, force Sylar to not farm. There's a
well, Ice
shitting.
now in a little bit of trouble. Ice walks in as well. Xiaowei TP's on the back line. Gotta be very careful. Mex use vacuum. That's gonna hit on 5, and the spin is doing so much work. Xiaowei dead for sure, and now it's gonna go on DDC. XY is gonna rip a new one, and everybody. Ice Path is gonna hit, and now they're gonna try to kill him down, force him to backtrack, and Ice Dice now behind the enemy lines. He's gonna eat a stun to the face, and he will succumb to the pressure. Magic Wand's up. Not gonna be enough. The Urns trying to do some work, and again, at the end of the day, the tower is still alive. That not as a good fight, trading 1 for 1.
Yep, I thought they were going to get one more in the Shadow Demon, but a nice Ice Path from these LGD supports. I mean, they're doing pretty well here. Again, they're very prepared with these sentries too. I like how both of them are very prepared. There's only one invisibility hero on each side, but not letting them get that clean initiate and that early scout is crucial to these team fights.
Yeah, they definitely learned a lesson last game. They being a Zenith, you talked about it. You need to have sentry wards before the invisible hero strikes, not after. And Zenith very on top. Both teams very on top of that.
XY pretty close to his Lincolns. That's going to be pretty important for him.
Lincoln is allow him to play more aggressive as he has been, and against certain heroes like Nature's Prophet, Shadow Demon, Jakiro. I mean, yeah, it's a pretty. I personally dislike this item quite a bit. It's a 5k gold that doesn't give you too much damage, but the way that he's been playing is definitely warrant of a good early game Lincoln purchase.
So a counter smoke by LGD. We see two of the supports rotating top. I definitely don't think they can kill the Weaver by himself though. They need a TP in support if they want to make something happen top. Looks like they are eyeing the heroes in middle right now.
Ice also has a chemical rage stolen.
Yeah. Zenith knows that they don't have an ward on his hill. The Ratchet of Nature just hit, so I think they feel relatively safe to farm up there. Zenith is actually pressuring top now. They saw Siler TP. This may be the time to pressure middle. He does have his BKB. Oh, wow. XY just runs right into them.
Uh-oh, he gets disrupted right now, and let's see how good the chain stun will be. XY, you got to burst him down before time lapse. No time lapse, and that's a little bit unfortunate, but they are going to get a tier 1 tower as a result, I think. No TP on the mid lane. Yeah, they are going to get this T1. I got to say, perhaps
he needs strength treads in that sort of situation. That was almost exactly the same place they found him in last time. You really have to be prepared for that the second time around. Making the same mistake twice is not good for this Weaver. His Lincoln's is going to be extremely later than it could have been.
Yeah, and they really need every bit of gold they could get from towers, and well, that on the mid lane is going to be very helpful. Yamate also finding a ton of free farm on the bot lane, as well as the early game is going for LGD. I'm not sure if it's good enough, because we talked about the Magnus Blink Dagger still being delayed. He is going to have it in about 2-3 minutes.
Right now.
Yeah, they're going to spin on him. He's going to be fine thanks to disruption, or the possibility of disruption.
But what do they do for Siler's BKB? That's my big question. He's just going to absolutely destroy them in the
I think you kite him. I mean, you have Surge, you have things like Disruption, you have Sakuchi. Sure, he may be able to kill one, but I don't think killing one is enough. And once you have the BKB down, you have Outworld Destroyer with Hex, or hopefully Hex.
I guess it's really depending on how Yao hits, or if he hits his RPs. If he hits his RPs and they take down 2-3 heroes during the BKB, it's almost certainly XY on top.
Oh, they're going to make a go right now.
What a timely Shakuchi.
But he's going to come out, and he's going to be a full duration.
Wait, he's stuck in the creeps?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh,
man.
my goodness.
Well, that was a lucky break for XY, and in fact, they want to turn it around. It's going to be Omni Slash in the face. Spin comes out, BKB used, and well, you talked about Siler very good at saving those BKB charge. Had to use it there, and he's going to stun himself.
Might stun himself now and die?
Oh my god, is he going to die?
Oh, no, DD is there to save him. Whew. 143 HP left. There is the Blink Dagger up on Yao, though. And an invisibility rune. This could be the big RP that they've been waiting for.
Well, he got to have an ally to definitely kind of take advantage of that RP.
Too, just a little bit too far away from that sentry.
Sentry, of course, nerfed in the new patch. 850 range, I think, instead of 950.
Yeah, well,
something like that.
That's unfortunate for Zenith, but they were very, very close to killing the Alchemist. Again, he's just a little bit too farmed at this point.
I think they're looking for a kill up top here against XY, and Walt Macropy's going to get out Shopkin Knight. He's going to go back in time, but here comes Xiaowei. A little bit of Sprout, Blind Sprout. No Sprout here, attempt already used on Xiaowei. I think he was checking here in the fog for somebody. Not going to find anything, though.
Yeah, Alchemist finding another pickoff.
Just here's the power of the Shadow Blade Alchemist, which I'm not showing.
I guess they used RP on him.
Well, the RP from the Invis room, which is not something they account for. Looks like the two heroes going to be running into each other. XY going to be coming on the mid lane for a kill attempt. Meanwhile, Alchemist going into the Dragons for a couple kills. Here's a big difference in game number 1 and game number 2 as XY doing a nice cheeky job of stealing a couple of Ancients. Is that right now, as we see a Blink Skewer backward against Yamate. Yamate does have Force Stab, but the TP coming in, there's no way to cancel that TP, or will there? Wrath of Nature not available to do enough damage for the kill.
Oh, that was close by Yamata there.
Yeah, the big difference between this game and the last one is that LG is playing a lot more aggressive all of the map because they're not as afraid of things like to kill them. There's really no aggressive killing spell aside from things like an Omni Slash. Last game there was a Song Siren to get everybody in, there was a Stream Coil Initiate, there was a Life Stealer in the game. This game, they're playing so aggressive. There's a Lincoln Sphere doing a ton of work there. And he should be fine. In fact, Sylar might be a little bit trouble, down to about half HP. Sylar says, man, I'll man-fire you, force you to go back. Oh, BKB's going to be used. I think Sylar's actually going to go down here. In fact, he will. Sylar.
That Sentry Ward.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, I guess it was close to being up. But Sylar, yeah, that's a very rare death from him.
Yeah, he generally is very, very good in terms of estimating how long he can survive. And
he has to be expecting the Lincolns, too. We clearly saw the Ultimate Orb as well as the Ring of Health. I'm surprised that he didn't check his inventory before going on him. Regardless, a very rare death by Alchemist, and looks like they will get a free tower out of it. A big break for Zenith.
Back in the mid lane here, LGD, DDC might be a little bit of trouble. Sprout's going to find him. Dual breath, any kind of nuke. There's no stun here.
Disable.
Yeah, and he's going to make it back home. So we see all these like small skirmishes all over the map. Who do you think it favors? I think it favors a team that has more mobility, but it seems like LGD is actually coping it very nicely.
Yeah, LGD does have those minuses though, and I mean this gold graph is just not looking good for Zenith right now.
It's a 0. I mean,
yeah, they have more mobility with the Nature's Prophet, and they have the potential for better ganks with the Shadow Demon, or sorry, with the Shadow Blade on the Alchemist and with the Blink on the Magnus. They have the burst potential to try and limit Zenith's split push, and that's going to definitely play into Zenith not being able to catch up as much as they would like on the farm. But one really big thing is OD only has 1 death. I feel like he's been missing a lot, been split pushing, and LGD haven't really punished him for it, and as a result, he has a Scythe of Ice. Yeah, they tried to kill him earlier with a Blink Skewer and a Sprout to follow through, but as we've seen multiple times, they just TP out. There's just not enough stuns, it feels like, on LG side. The Hex is up. Any reason why Zenith just don't go for pushing Tier 2 towers or Tier 1 towers? I think they just need a gank and try and limit LGD's farm by making them feel scared around the map. Like, I seen Prophet just push up to T2. Sylar was just at the T2 as well. Magnus sometimes farms off alone. I think that if they can force LGD to stick together and just maybe delay the game a little bit, try and farm up a few more items, or just find really good picks with Scythe, they'll be in a really good position to take this game. But LGD is going to force the issue. They have the better 5-man with the RP, and Shadow Demon does have his medallion up. I think Zenith needs to avoid bad 5-on-5s, pretty much if they're in the Roche Pit, if they're pushing down towers 5-on-5. I think these are very bad situations for them. But now that they have the Scythe of Vice on the OD, they do have the potential to burst any one of LGD's heroes down, including the Alchemist. He does have a lot of HP right now in the BKB, but if he doesn't pop his Chemical Rage, if he gets sheep before then, he could easily go down to their burst.
I mean, it feels like the way that you're describing is that Zenith has a ton of time to... Oh, there's going to be a Scythe on Sylar, but not close enough to have any kind of stun follow-ups and backs off. It seems like Zenith, you think that they have a ton of time to keep trading farm, at least to get the Weaver's next item, which seems to be a BKB, which I'm not sure about.
Like, but for the previous 10 minutes, LGD have been finding the kills, right? They've been trying to go aggressive. They've been soloing RP Ice. Sylar's been trying to look for solo kills, and I think that is time for Zenith to do that.
Right. Well, they're not finding anything just yet, and it's going to be Sylar now going into the bit. They know that Yamate is on the bot lane. They know that the Weaver's up on top, and it's too spread. And it's a very, very easy sneak Roshan here by LGD.
Yeah, especially with his Aegis now. They just can't take a straight up 5-on-5 fight right now.
So any reason for LGD to not actually hold back? Do they just go right now? In fact, they're going on the mid lane here. Sylar, is he going to find a stun? He's going to be stunned under the tower. He does have Aegis available. Force that backwards a little bit here. The double damage coming in from XY. Is he actually going to take the away to Aegis? Wow, man. The double damage is very helpful in that, especially with the Swarm as well. Sylar backing him off. Well, there goes that push. Yeah, you asked if there's any reason for LGD not to push. I mean, it's just not really their playstyle, right? They still want a few more items on Alchemist, maybe an Assault Cuirass, and plus the Aegis before they feel real comfortable pushing. Even the T1 tower, they still feel a little bit hesitant. There's no need for them to take unnecessary risk, and it looks like Yamata might pick off Xiaowei on top. Well, they're going to try to go for Xiaowei is going to self-sprout and TP. There was a Hex available. Not going to find it, though. Back in the middle here, it's going to be Sylar trying to come in here. And he find a stun. No, he will... debuff the stun by popping the BKB. Sylar, this
They
game...
don't even have a sentry ward there.
Yep. Right here, Ice is going to get scouted, though. Tree's going to get summoned. He's going to get surrounded by all sides. And there's that one free kill. Man, LG's been looking for these kills for such a long time. They finally find it. Meanwhile, Tier 2 is going to get destroyed here on the bot lane by XY. Tier 1, will it hold? That's a question on the mid. Nobody really available. The Radiance, yeah, they're going to give it up for free.
Yeah, XY is not in a position to fight, so at best it'd be 3v5 or 4v5 with a half HP Weaver. They do not want to take that risk, especially with Sylar still having that Aegis.
And I don't think LG is going to stop here. They're going to group out on the Tier 2, start whacking
They have
on
a gem
it.
pickup as well.
Yep, and Radiant have to really take this fight. Tier 2 just goes down for free. Wow. And here comes Ice spinning away. The Swarm's going to hit on everybody. That's a 3 or 4 hero Sylar charging up the stun. How quickly can you get off the Omni Slash? He does get it off. The stun's going to break the Lincoln's. BKB's going to get popped, and XY trying to do a ton of work. It's going to get 1 kill. Big ultimate stun here from the OD. Going to go for the second one. Aegis is going to go down here. Ice still on the chase. Drums already activated. They want Sylar.
RP coming up.
No, Hex coming up. Where the hell is the Magnus on the backline? I don't see him. Sylar popping his ultimate. RP, that's going to hit onto 2. Macro Pyre on top. The HP is draining, and Sylar's going to get the kill before he dies. Magnus gets go back, and Yamate still right-clicking away down to about a quarter. Now Dual Breath is going to catch, and nobody actually going to bring them down. Everybody's running away. Xiao Ei's going to TP back in. They find Ice. Finally, Ice Path is going to get dropped. He's still on the run. Finally goes down. Buyback from Sylar. Now the chase goes the other way. I think they go high ground here as there's 3 people dead for about 30 seconds. Or do you think they would go for the exterior Tier 2s?
It's just not LGD's play style. Unfortunately, I think that most teams would go for it, especially with the Weaver down right now, with the OD ultimate down, with the Omni Slash down, and the Wall of Illusions. But LGD, again, they don't really want to push unless they have a huge advantage. There is no Aegis anymore. There is no buyback. I think most teams would have chosen to broach the high ground, but not LGD. Content to farm a little bit. They have 2 Midases again. They have the Empower Alchemist that we just saw crush everybody last game. There's no real good reason for them to do it, especially considering how they love to play.
Yeah, I also think that Sylar should be rushing towards a Basher or Abyssal immediately, because right now they are just, as a team, running away from a bladed Juggernaut Blade Fury, which, to be fair, it hurts a bit, but we're 30 minutes in. They all just turn around and right-click? The Weaver was also chasing in.
That Ion Shell.
Sure, but like if they have Abyssal Blade, stun through his spin and just focus and right-click him, you have AC.
I totally agree with you.
You have Empower, you have BKB. Why are we running? I'm just very confused about LGD's frantic retreat, and of course the Magnus should run. Should get out of the way. And then if things go wrong, you RP, so... I'm not really sure.
on bottom. Nope, no MKB yet on Weaver. He does have a BKB though, so he went like full defensive mode.
Yeah, and again, it fits his aggressive playstyle, and he's not really dying as a result. But BKB Lincolns, that's about 10,000.
It takes him so long to burst to kill the Alchemist, like without any sort of physical damage right now. No physical damage items on the Weaver. OD, mostly pure damage that does not go through BKB. They're pretty much just forced to wait out the Alchemist. Again, as you said, they have a decent lineup for kiting the Alchemist during the fights, but it's at 7 seconds right now. They have a Scythe of Vice on the Jakiro, or not on the Jakiro, on the Nature's Prophet, and I feel like they could just suffer heavy casualties before that BKB is up.
I don't know. These team fights, it's not really LGD that's initiating with the RP, which you talked about. If the RP lands, they win. It's the other way. It's Zenith chasing them away with things like Sakuchi, with things like Spin, and once the BKBs are down, I feel like this lineup is just entirely built around OD, judging by the way that they build their items. Everybody else getting tanky defensive items, and then you just have OD that drops a big ultimate. He's going for Shiva's Guard next, just for more intelligence.
Look at his intelligence. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
160?
For those of you guys who don't know the exact damage output of the Ultimate Sanity Eclipse, it is a 11 multiplier of any intelligence difference. That is absolutely huge.
Zenith, look at their position right now. They are looking for blood.
I mean, well, Zenith is clumped up as 3 or 4 as 5, and really LGD is all over the place. They're very lucky that nobody gets picked off.
Yeah, they're trying to pick off stragglers, but I like how Zenith has been taking a fight to LGD. They're not waiting to set up for the perfect RP. They're trying to pick them off while they're unorganized.
Well, so far they've been doing okay, but this Hex is now up on Xiaowei. That's definitely a very valuable piece of lockdown. None of that TP Val shenanigan. Ice now going forward. Is he going to find anything? Ice Path The drum's going to be activated. There at least is going to be Omni Slash usage. DDC taking a full brunt of it, and Sylar popping his ultimate. DDC in big trouble. He's got to self-disrupt. The stun, nobody. Sylar got to chop that stun. Throw on something. He does throw on Ice Ice. Now BKB's going to be activated. Force that forward disruption. They are going to kill Weaver. Where was the BKB? I think he thought he could go back in time. DDC's low. DDC's going to survive, and now the Hex goes on Yao. Yao, huge ultimate from Yamate. That's a double. That's a triple. Yamate's going to town. They see Sylar. You can actually burst him down. The self-stun applies, and Yamate with the double. And now they're going the other way. Again, the entire lineup built around Yamate. If he survives, if you last through that BKB, you win. And they won very hard.
He had a Shivas before that fight. His intelligence is just through the roof right now. 176. I don't think anyone on the side of LGD has even above 70.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
or besides the Nature's Prophet.
Nature's Prophet's got 120. Alchemist has got like 60-ish. Jakiro's got 70-ish.
That's like 1,000 damage nuke plus to everyone on their team. It's such a timely ultimate. That was a clutch sheep, though.
A lot of people think that the BKB is always a counter to Obsidian Destroyer, and I really don't think it is. The BKB charge, sure, it blocks all the parry damage, blocks the magical damage, but not your supports are not going to get BKBs. Like your supports, they just eat an ultimate, and they probably just die if they don't go down to like no HP.
It really depends on how these fights go. RP, I mean, they had a 2-man RP, but that fight, he tried to go in. He even has a BKB up, but that Scythe of Vice from Yamata really set them up for the fight. If LGD, again, they get the jump on the OD, things are over for him. He does not have a BKB. He does not have too many defensive capability. He's still going to get melted even with 27 armor. But they've been pulling out these fights quite well, and I think a lot of it has to do with Ice just going balls to the wall in these fights, just saying, hey, you guys are running away? Okay, let me chase after you. And LGD is like, well, we kind of want to go back to defend our towers, but they're kind of caught in a tough position because they're running away. They don't have the positioning that they need, and they don't have vision of Zenith most of the time, and that makes it really difficult for Magnus to get RPs on Yamata, and Yamata is just making big plays in these team fights.
Yeah, that's also the second time I've seen Xiaowei kind of teleporting to the backline team fights. Yamate, you gotta be very careful. You cannot be the first person that dies. XY gonna drop a swarm. That's gonna be a couple of people. They are gonna snipe him up, and they stun him. Is that a bait? It's not a bait. Nobody follows up.
They don't have any counter initiate against BKBs. That's the problem. You can just, if they just zerg people down during the BKBs like they did just then, it could easily be a 3-on-5 fight. But wow, a little bit of an overextension by him. That Scythe of Vice just. Wow.
Yeah. Well, OD, he's got 2,400 gold in the bank. I wonder what he's going to be going for. If this was like kind of a regular progression.
Ooh, are they going to go on? Is he going to go on Xiaowei? He's waiting for 4-staff cooldown just so he can get that instant sheet.
He could get a solo kill.
Oh, his team is smoked behind him though. Oh, Yamata.
No, he got hexed before. What a reaction rate from Xiaowei. Ice Path, that's got to hit. Nice self-disruption, but all of a sudden... He's so damn dead. Wait, the hex goes on Sylar. Ultimate goes on. RP's going to use walls on top of 12. Ice that comes in with the healing with Yamate. Back up to a bit of help, but he finally gets bursted down, and it's going to be a full-on retreat. No, he buys back, and now LGD decides to run as well. DD, any Ice Path? You gotta drop the Ice Path. Disruption being used offensively. You did lift him back. Just say bye to DDC. He's not worth it, man. Just run, guys. Just run. DDC said no.
Wow, that was such a good play by Yamata that he made something out of nothing. And I was actually checking Alchemist's cooldown to see why he didn't BKB. It was just 3 seconds off. Oh,
force tap into a stun. Ice is gonna be dead. 2 hit, and now the rest of the team. Where the hell's Yamate? Yamate bought back and just farmed on the mid lane, which. Well, the rest of the team is fighting us. He's not farming on the mid lane. Yes, Xiaowei is going to be in a little bit of trouble. BKB's going to be used on XY. They don't have RP available. Mech's going to be used. Backtrack's going to be forced out on XY, and everybody backs off. Yamate comes in. The one-man army is available, and one person gets out. Sylar's going to be getting out. And the rest of the team, just TP guys, there's really no stun available. Not an XY.
Surge. Yeah, they have the gem. Are they going to find Sylar? Why he just escaped? What? That was some next level jukes there. Wow. He escaped there. He just uses buyback too. They have the gem on a dark seer. He just narrowly avoided death. Oh my goodness, Sylar, you are a lucky man.
So, the thing I was questioning about was the buyback was obvious fine, and as soon as LG retreated, I think Yamate TP mid. But the rest of the team thought he TP'd to the bot tower, and they kept fighting. So it was just like an awkward dance.
Yeah, they could have just instantly killed the Prophet. He TP'd in so aggressively.
Yeah, and now they're looking for a Sylar on the mid lane. This is just like kind of an awkward game of. if I have to rate Hexagon on execution, this game would be like a 2. Because everybody is executing poorly. Like, we have Ice running past tier 1 towers and then dying. The Weaver, XY, dying up top. And then you have LGD trying to going back and forth. This is a confusing game.
I think that OD needs a BKB, though. He gets sheep. He'll get RP.
No. He's going Refresher Warp.
Yeah, I mean, well, the best defense is...
So a good offense, right? If you get a Refresher... Is it Refresher? It's not going to be Orchid, right?
I'm pretty sure it's going to be Refresher. Orchid is useless versus BKBs. They have one on Alchemist. They have one on the Magnus.
Yeah, if you Refresher double ultimate, that is a 1v5 man white. No questions asked. So the damage output is definitely there, but whether you can finish it on time is a question, because here comes Alchemist. The rest of the team is waiting for him.
If they get an RP on Yamata, it is game over. He does not have buyback. And are they going to find it? That is the question.
Well, they see him mid. They see him mid. That's going to be the jump of the life right now. Where is it? Where's the RP? That's going to be on 2-2. They got to somehow get him out of there. He's not dying just yet. Half HP. Can he drop his ultimate? Got to focus him down. He finally dies. A chain stun perfectly done. And now XY in the middle. Xiaoe is focusing on him. One person dead. And this is why the glass cannon build not going to work out. Sprout going to be used against Freedom. Can he TP out? The stun is going to fly through. And Freedom's going to go down. To be fair about Yamate, BKB would not have saved him there either. Because RP...
He needs to be more careful about his positioning. He does not have his buyback. He's standing right next to the Weaver. He knows that he's a very high priority target without the defensive capabilities of BKB. I thought he was doing a fantastic job of positioning before last fight and this fight.
Yeah, also there's 0 force staff on the rest of the team. If you get RP but you get force staff back out, that's a different story.
Right.
That didn't happen. There's no disruption. There's nothing else on that team that could save him. And perhaps off that mistake, they're going to lose the mid-racks. Well, 30 seconds until everybody comes back, and I think 30 seconds is more than enough for Sylar to blow down this mid tower and Rex.
Darkseer is trying his best to counter initiate, though. He's getting some great vacuum walls, but it doesn't do too much versus the BKB rushdown of Alchemist. He has 4,600 gold. He has buyback up in 2 minutes. He has an Aegis Immortal. They are definitely taking this Rax.
Yeah, they are. Well, there you go. And still 10 seconds before everybody comes back. Meanwhile, Xiaoe already on the bot lane, working on that tier 2 tower. LGD, after one spectacular R2-man RP, and perhaps off the mistakes of Zenith, really put this game, I don't want to say out of reach, but this is not a good comeback build coming out from Yamate. It just, oh, he's got Oblivion Staff now, you know, it doesn't do much.
It's a good snowball build.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think they just screwed up a couple of times in the mid game. That OD getting really greedy and trying to force step into the Nature's Prophet. That was, I mean, he got sheep before he could even sheep Xiao 8, which is very...
How did Xiao 8 do that?
That was sick reflexes by Xiao 8, by the way.
Yeah.
But again, that's just not a necessary play by. You can't do that as the carry, and they were smoked behind him. They've been pretty careful about not getting picked up before then, but again, they had a couple opportunities to pick off Sylar too. If they had done that, then LGD wouldn't have done Roshan right then and not been able to take out this T3 in mid, but just a slight couple things going wrong for Zenith to take them out of this game. I don't think it's over yet. The XP graph, irrelevant at this point. Gold graph, about 12,000 in favor of LGD. Look how close the game was before.
Yeah, I mean... Well, the double Midas really kicking in, the Grievous Grease starting to really take over the game as well. Any comments on the item purchase on LGD? Do you think they should be getting things like a casual cloak or maybe working towards a pipe? I mean, the best scenario of winning the game is, you know, RPing Yamate and then killing him before anything happens, but you can't always rely on that. Or do you say if we're going to eat an Astro...
That's all they need to do. All they need to do is BKB, blink RP Yamate, one man, doesn't matter, just get him down.
Or hex him.
Yeah, hex him. Just do anything, kill him. I think it's totally worth blowing 2 BKBs and an RP on him. The other items don't really matter because if you just kill him before he gets his sheep off, his Shivas off, his ultimate off, it doesn't really matter. They don't have anything that can save him right now, bar a super sick blink counter RP by Rubik. I mean, they tried Darkseer, but Darkseer doesn't do anything versus BKB. Rubik, nothing versus BKB unless you steal RP, which we have not yet. Juggernaut, he doesn't do anything because he doesn't have any damage. Sure, Omnislash is going to tickle him, but he's super set. Weaver, again, he won a very defensive build. So, again, BKB, Zerg down Yamata, you win the fight. Other items don't matter.
There is one Force Staff online now here on the Darkseer, and he's been playing
that's so important.
Yeah, I say you build Force Staff. If you're Rubik, if Juggernaut, maybe even build a Force Staff on Juggernaut. Maybe that's pushing it a little bit, but Yeah, I mean, the healing work cannot be forgotten. That's definitely a way to, if Yamate survives long enough, he's going to be regenerating some HP throughout the fight.
Look at their positioning right now. Oh, LGD is ready to roll.
And Yamate should not even show himself. Like, he is, like you said, the most high priority target for the team. And look at him.
If he gets RP'd right here, oh my goodness.
Yep, there's the RP like you predicted. RP is being stolen. Can you counter RP? Counter RP coming in from Rubik. And the vacuum wall in the backwards. Yamate full HP in the middle of the fight, but he gets bashed. He gets Abyssal, self-disrupt, and trying to destroy everything, but he's going to come back. He's going to get focused. He gets Hex on Sylar. Gotta focus him down. He's still focusing on Yao. No, he's going to get one kill on Yao. The sun's going to run through. Yamate is going to get burst down 2 hit. He self-disrupts again, and now Sylar gets lifted. His ultimate ends, and they win that team fight off a blink. RP stolen from Ice. What a play. Sylar comes back in. Do they have enough detection? That's the other question. He gets vacuumed back and a couple hits. They win that team fight. Beautiful play. 4 staff, blink, counter RP.
There's no buyback on Alchemist right now. He doesn't have the gold for it.
They don't have the equilibrium here. As
Alchemist not having gold, what a concept.
He had the Aegis, he thought he was completely fine, so he bought the full Abyssal Blade, and now it's a counter push. Is this game a new game now?
That's exactly what they needed, though. Other than the RP on Rubik, they can't really break the combo on the OD. I guess Ice just read it perfectly, and Yamata sitting out there as bait, Ice sitting up the hill. That was just so clutch by Rubik. Again, if Yamata died right there, that's just GG.
And now Rubik holds on to that RP. He's not stealing anything else, and well, he is the Magnus. So if you're Zenith, do you go before your RP times out? And if you're LGD, do you wait before his RP times out?
I think that they're just content to farm. LGD is like in a really tough position right now. They can't really break the base because of just what happened, and they're definitely not going to make the move. They're not going to push the T3 5-on-5 with Ice still having this RP. I don't think they should force the issue just because the tendency of your positioning to push is just it's just too difficult to pull off, especially against a Magnus, against a Scythe of Ice. There's too many things that can happen to OD right now and again, if you force a buyback, you're just one fight away from losing the game. They need to still play it a little bit safe. I think if he has Refresher and a buyback, I think you can do it. But before that, it's just too risky for them. They've only won one team fight. That was the only team fight they won like super convincingly. And again, them having the RP is such a big deal, but that was, again, LGD being the aggressor. If you counter-initiate with RP, you're going to win the fight. But, again, if you're pushing, the move is on you. And if they have to show themselves, if Yamata has to be up at the tower pushing just because they don't really have anyone else to, it's going to lead to a pretty bad fight.
Refresher Orb is now available.
Yeah, they need to farm the buyback on him.
Yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't have bought the Refresher if I was him right there, because they were one fight away. But the other argument is, if you die in the middle of a team fight, even if you buy back, the rest of your team is probably going to be dead before you even make it back to the fight. 4-man smoke up after Weaver, and they're looking for a pick off. RP, by the way, it's going to be out in about, I want to say, a minute, 30 seconds or so. They have some time, but not too much left.
Yeah, they're narrowly missed Yao and DD. They have sentries posted in mid.
Kind of wild for range to the jungle. Nobody. Look at the positioning from LG. They don't see anybody on the map, so they don't be on the map. At least DDC is very, very far away. TP across the map.
Wait, there's no TP on Sylar. Are they going to find him? He doesn't have a TP. He has to run all the way around the map. They're going to spot him with this ward if he chooses to continue south. But again, I don't think they have the mobility to catch him.
Yeah, they're too far away. They're too far away. Now they do see him, and well, Juke's up. They also see Prophet and bot lane pushing there. So yeah, a ton of time being wasted. Multiple TP. That's like 1,000 gold being wasted, as well as time not farming. Zenith kind of, I mean, you have to make those kind of high-risk plays when you're down on racks, and you don't really have the better carry. Yamate, in a straight-up 1v1 fight, he's by far the most strongest hero on the map, but
he had some really sick Astrals and Forces on that last fight, too. But, again, they don't have any buybacks on Weaver. I'm checking the buyback status
right now. Sylar, oof. Swarm is going to get dodged, and he's going to be fine.
Word is the Gem Bear. He's all the way in the back.
Quickly checking out who actually has Gem. It's going to be X-Freedom.
And yeah, buyback status right now looks like Furion has a ton of gold, 5,200 gold after completing his MKB. He will definitely have buyback. The Magnus will have buyback as well as the Juggernaut, but none on the OD, none on the Alchemist, and none on the Weaver. Those are the big three heroes.
None of the people that actually matters. Yeah, so meanwhile, we do have 3.7k gold on Magnus. Any idea what he'll go next? Is this a refresher game? Or is this a game where you just drop that one RP, hope that it doesn't get stolen, and that should be enough.
I think it's a refresher game. It's always a refresher game with Magnus.
I mean, if you get counter RP'd, it doesn't matter if you have the second RP because you're dead. Like you just get killed by the OD.
I mean, a Hood's not gonna save you at this point though. He has over 200 intelligence. Magnus has just 50, so 1500 damage, and then calculating magic resistance. That's like 2/3 of his life just right there.
Well, Zenith, is their RP finally down? Yes, it is. So they have kind of waited out the time, and both teams has kind of played very timidly. XY now going for MKB.
Oh, there's an Abyssal up on Alchemist. That is bad.
Yeah, he had it. He had it since the last fight, and well, XY.
They're pushing on the top tower though, and there is no one there. But Zenith can't really go back right now, or else they're just gonna sneak in Roshan. What do they do?
One person got a TP back. Just say Rubik or not. Rubik can do it. I guess Juggernaut.
They're peeking into the pit right now, but this is exactly where they do not want to be. You can't fight in the Roche pit, but they also can't just let Xiao 8 take out their T3 for free. They're forced to use a glyph right now.
Yamate TP's back. That's it. The juke's up.
That's just a green light for LGD.
Yeah.
They know they can just do Roshan with impunity right now. That is going to be Aegis and the cheese. And Sylar has farmed up a buyback right now. He sold his item. Looks like he is going to pick up the Aegis or the cheese. He picked up the cheese. Looks like the Aegis will go to Yao.
Yeah. And Midas, I'm not sure if it was sold or not. Another item comes through. It's going to be a fresh BKB coming out here. Just a straight. Keep in mind that you cannot sell your new your BKBs now, so it's just a fresh BKB usage. He even used it for good measurement.
That's cool. There's a BKB on the Furion as well. This is not looking good. Again, BKB is, especially with his fresh 10-second one on Zenith, it might catch him by surprise.
Well, 10-second BKBs isn't it? It's straight up counter to the OD.
One real big thing about this purchase though is that Sylar does not have enough for buyback. He does have the cheese, but if he gets sheep down and bursted down during the sheep, and he can't pop his defensive cooldowns, the cheese, his chemical rage, and the BKB, he might just straight up die right now.
You reckon Zenith knows that?
I don't think they don't know what items he has right now, and they definitely know that he didn't take the Aegis, but.
You can't count on the Alchemist
they're not going to check the
right?
BKB. There's no way to tell that the BKB, or they're not going to check the BKB and check the duration. I highly doubt it. Yeah. But if they do notice that is a green light to go. You can't
look at the item and say it's 4 seconds, right? Can you tell?
I'm actually not too sure about that. I think you can though.
Well, they have to deal with Xiao 8 first, because Xiao 8 is right in their base, and again,
crap out of top.
So yeah, I don't think Zenith could leave the base. Very much so, like LGD can't leave their base last time. Zenith being really pinned back, and Yamate's damage output is, well, he has the double damage now, but his damage output is absolutely insane, and he still has a couple slot left. Where do you go here? Do you just go back to a BKB? I don't think it's bad.
I don't think it's bad either. First off, he needs buyback. I think he needs BKB. He can double BKB at that point for 19 seconds. That would be absurd. And although they do have an Abyssal, I don't think he does have the physical damage to burst down OD right now, because he does have that Shiva's Guard. That is a ton of armor. 30 armor on him, and he'll have -5 from the AC, but with Empower on, I don't know. Empower's not going to stick anyways, because they have the BKB, the fresh 10-second one, but looks like they want to push right now. They have the Aegis, they have the cheese, they don't have the buyback on the Alchemist though, and that is the big risky thing about LGD pushing this
T3. LGD, I'm not sure whether they need to push right now. I'd rather see them to slow it down, because you know that Xiao could kind of do a little bit more damage at tier 3 up top. You need to farm your buyback, and perhaps even boot travel on your Alchemist. You might need all of those lives to win this team fight. With that said, you know, that's when maybe OD picks up yet another item. I think he might actually go pick up an Acceptor. That's definitely a ton of HP.
I don't think the Acceptor scales very well though. With the Acceptor, I think it's like multiplier is like 13.
Well, when you use it twice with refresh, I think it's really the stats you get with in conjunction with the Shivas, you get a ton of HP.
Right, but they have the BKBs though. That is the biggest issue for Yamata.
Here comes a spin of Yamate. Sylar says, "All right, I'll right click," and here comes Sylar. Big bad. They think you can wait it out, but he really doesn't care. Weaver just dies. Buyback check.
Wow, his BKB was down, his Link one's down. He does have buyback. I think he just needs the buyback. They can't lose the second Rex right now. Yep, there is the buyback.
Well, and they force that forward here. Wow, Yamate playing so aggressively. He does have the buyback. Maybe he's trying to bait an RP with his life?
Well, that was a 10-second BKB on the Alchemist, so another full minute until it's up. I mean, I think if they make a move right now, he won't have a buyback if he dies right now. That is going to be very dangerous.
They don't know that he doesn't have buyback. That's the other factor. And Sylar, I think the rest of LGD cannot and should not push right now. They need that. the
Right.
BKB.
This is very uncharacteristic aggressive play by them. I think they wait for the perfect time to push, and this is not the perfect time.
Well, they were able to kill Weaver and got the buyback from him. So the BKB walk up forward and catching Weaver by surprise. It worked out fine. And now they're going to wait it out. Profit back on top, so they got to wait maybe 10 more seconds until he's TP's back up. And they're slowly pushing.
Yep, just waiting there. I think he actually is very close to BKB now, or not BKB, a buyback. 23.55 gold in the bank, 17.56 gold. I think he's just doesn't have enough.
Well, if he gets a kill or two, he should be fine. Here comes Sylar going up to high ground, dropping the acid spray. Going to be working that tier 2 trial. Hex goes on into him. Well, they're going to be focusing Force Staff. Where's the Force Staff? They can't really successful Force Staff. BKB gets used by Xiaowei. The Omni Sash comes through as well, and the chase is going to come out here. XY Sakuchi forward, and the rest of his team following through. Everybody's backing off, and well, you baited out a couple. BKB really shouldn't fight. Here comes Yamate. Huge ultimate, but he gets RP immediately. Gotta focus in that great force that backward by X Freedom. And the counter RP, the second one of the game from Ice. Where's Yamate? Right clicking. Second refresh orb. Where's the ultimates? There's no ultimate being used. Alright, force that forward. Shiva's Guard for sight. And Astral Imprisonment for the cancel. So Shadow Demon's gonna be dead.
Top
right?
barracks though.
Meanwhile, Xiaowei makes the game-winning move, I believe. Takes down the second Rax. He TP's back out. In fact, he's gonna go back and join the fight. Yamate now gets refocused by Sylar. How did he make it back in the fight? He never died. He never even had to use the cheese. Sakuchi back out here on XY, and he should make it back home, but it doesn't matter. Yamate has to buy back. He has to go to buy back. Why isn't he buying back? He finally buys back tier 3. He said this is the last standing Rax because the top is already gone.
Oh, he has a blink dagger now, so he's ready to pick him off. He's tired of Ice just running in, and he is going for the gold. Screw BKB. I guess he didn't really have the gold for it. Needs one more item before he thinks the game could potentially end.
But LG says, we don't need to push right now. We come back, we'll recruit, we'll wait for everything comes back online. And man, what a game for Zenith, but I'm not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel for them. I think it's really hard for them to win this game now.
Yeah, the ultimate did not do as much damage as it normally. That was even with a stolen blink RP from the Rubik too.
It just didn't have the same effect, right? Nobody was really clumped up. There was 2 BKB active, perhaps during the Astro or the Sanity's clips, so a ton of the supports were out of the way. It wasn't the same OD ultimate that you expect, just completely decimating it. One of the biggest issue, I guess, with OD is that a ton of his damage comes in the level disparity between himself and the targets that he's hitting. He's already max, and we're reaching a point where the supports heroes are even fairly highly level. You have a level 15 Shadow Demon, you have a level 19 Jakiro. Like, they're gonna eat an ultimate, but it's not gonna be like a one-hit KO, you know?
And they have Darkseer almost the exact same items as Yamata, minus the refresher and the Shivas. But again, Blink, Forward Staff, and Scythe of Eyes. I don't think any of them have buyback right now. I'm checking it. Nobody on the side of Zenith. They've all spent their gold, just ready for one last hurrah on this bottom lane. And LGD are not going to wait for the next Roshan. 3 minutes until it's up. But Sylar actually does not have boots of travel, but I'm pretty sure he could buy back, swap out a stretch for boots of travel. And that's even if he dies using his cheese. It's a tough thing to kill Sylar twice right now.
Yeah, and now Yamate being forced to be staying on the front line here, and that's the act. Oh, they're gonna hex one person. Sylar's gonna come right in. He's gonna go on Yamate. Force that back out. It's gonna be okay at least for now. Nice body blocking, but the sun comes through, and Sylar, nice vacuum backwards. Yamate's not hitting anything, but maybe this is time to start hit something. Yamate is still on the back line. A second hex goes on him. They are just kind of zoning him out, focusing just on everybody else. Ice spinning up north, trying to TP out. He's not gonna make it back home, and Yamate did not do a single damn thing in that entire team fight. He still has this blink insanity, but it's not a one-hit KO. It doesn't do that much. X Freedom comes in, and a Super Saiyan Spirit Bomb comes out from Yamate, but it's just not enough. Yule Scepter comes out against him. Force that back out. Blink Skewer again against Yamate, and I don't think he drops the second one. He's trying to make it back out home. He doesn't. XY trying to get he does get one kill, but buyback comes in. Anybody focusing on the Rex? Somebody, for the love of God, focus on the Rex. Look at the back with DP. XY or X Xiaowei comes in. He's gonna get this Rex. Now focusing on the last Rex on the game. Nobody chases. He now goes on the Freedom, and the GG finally gets called.
That was an exciting series. I didn't actually expect the refresher on the Nature's Prophet. That is why he got hexed twice, but I don't know why Yamata just didn't blink in. He bought the blink, but he still got Hex on his initiation. I think that if he blinks Scythe the Nature's Prophet and tried to burst him down, I think it would have gone a lot better. Also, they didn't really have any successful smoke ganks. I don't remember the last time that Xiao Wei got picked off. I also don't remember the last time that Alchemist got picked off too.
They don't have any good gankers.
They have the sheep. They have a sheep on the Obsidian Destroyer. I think
so
that
you
they
go with OD ganking?
Well, they had to somewhat limit their farm. They had to force buybacks out because they just bullied them down with mass, Aegis, cheese, BKB, refresher, buybacks. They just had so many tools available in their arsenal for the last couple of fights that they just weren't able to take it. I think that if everything went like absolutely perfect for Zenith there, like it did that one fight in the middle, like they initiate Yamata, he doesn't get disabled, or they have like a 5-man counter RP.
Right.
Like if things go like perfectly, they can win, but they need to try and limit some of the tools available to LGD. Taking out the Aegis, they missed a pick off on Sylar when he didn't have buyback. That would have been huge. They didn't force any buybacks out of the Nature's Prophet. I mean, they had the Aegis on Magnetar, so you can't really focus on him. No BKB on Yamata. They're caught in a really tough place in each of these team fights, and just let LGD do their passive game.
I thought the focus fire on the last team fight was absolutely brilliant. It was like Hex after stuns after Abyssal after Hexes on Yamate. The rest of the team took care of Zenith. And
Weaver didn't do anything. He
Yeah.
had so many defensive items. He just got slapped
exactly.
down by
And
Alchemist.
of course, one of the biggest thing about the draft is there's split pushers on one team and there isn't split pusher on the other. It was Xiao Wei taking top Raxes, TPing bot for the last Rax, and I think Xiao Wei was kind of the hidden MVP
Right,
for LGD.
definitely.
He
gave up first blood.
gave up first blood, had one of the worst start possible, and it didn't matter. It's
They're
profit.
just so good at coming back from that defensive position. And again, split pushers versus not split pushers is okay, but you need to be able to punish them. They didn't punish them for split pushing at all.
No ganks.
You either take down towers and force them to stop farming and stop split pushing, or you just gank the split pushers so they can't push. They didn't do either of those. Try to play the farmer with LGD. That rarely wins, especially with the Alchemist.
Well, let's see what the analysts think. That was an exciting finish to a 2-0 victory for
My
LGD.
rares, no!
I didn't bet any rares, so I'm good.
No, I'm good. Hello, analyst. How are you?
How you doing, analyst?
Let's analyze the game.
Let's
shall we?
analyze. Off-lane Juggernaut for Ice. It was annoying in the early game,
Yeah.
but you go to the mid game and the late game, and if you run a Juggernaut as your offlaner, this hero can't really do much. The Healing Ward's great for push strategies, has some utility just because he can Omni-Slash and discourage the enemy team from fighting, but no lockdown, no real crowd control to speak of, and minimal DPS. I felt like the offlane Juggernaut was just a bit too greedy from Zenith, and they played really well in spite of it, but I felt that was the main thing that handicapped them in the end.
Well, I've seen offlane juggernauts in the past.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it works if you have a better trial. Like
Like if there's
you're
a
against
strategy
Wiz,
behind
if
it.
you're against something that you know that can't hurt you much.
Yeah.
But a Shadow Demon, Jakiro, Alchemist is way too much. You just can't stay there because, yeah, you can just get disrupted, then you spin, and then they will chase you. The Alchemist will chase you, the Jakiro will chase you. You will not be able to do anything. Of course,
Right.
at the beginning, the Alchemist was trying to just chase him more than farming, which was funny, but that was, what, 1 minute. Then you go back to farming, you're an Alchemist, you know what you're doing.
Yeah. You still get your gold.
Yeah, I like Yamate's play on the Owl Devourer. I think it was pretty decent.
It's a tough hero to play when there's 2 RPs on the enemy team.
Yes.
That and the Scythe of Ice on the Prophet. In the end, double Scythe of Ice, that did make Yamate's life very difficult.
Could have gone BKB, right?
Yeah, he could have gone BKB, and I mean, I know Godz was actually making a comment about it in our Skype chat.
Oh, really?
But, sure, there is double RP. It's understandable that you're maybe not sure if you want to go for BKB that game, but just for the Scythe of Ice, the Alchemist done, I think he had the Abyssal Blade, but he has to get a melee range to use that. I think a BKB would still have been worth it. He decided to go for a Refresher Orb. The problem was they just couldn't chain their fight together properly. If they got a 4 or 5 hero vacuum, and then you immediately drop double Sanity's Eclipse, the 2 Sanity's Eclipse, as spread out as they were in that last fight, pretty much killed everyone.
Yeah.
So if they could have chained it correctly, if Rubik is able to blink RP, you could see how Zenith could have won those late game team fights, but LGD just had it's so much easier for them because they don't have to steal RP, they already have it. Alchemist could just BKB and run in, and Zenith pretty much have to scatter and kite. And they did a nice job of it, but I just feel like LGD had the easier lineup to execute in the late game. Plus, they had
Absolutely.
Prophet, so they could always push the top lane. I thought Xiao 8 was not even the secret MVP for me, although Lumi was giving him props. I would even just call him the flat-out MVP.
Yeah, he did very
despite
well.
giving up first blood, just his decision-making, his item selection, going for a refresher on Prophet, something you only normally do in a pub is a troll item
What a
to
farm.
farm more after Aghanim's. At least I'm guilty of that. Not recently, but only for trolling purposes.
Yeah.
But great item selection, split pushing top, buyback at the right moment. LGD win with some safe standard Dota.
I just think that we have to go back to the core of both LGD's lineup in the first game and the second game.
Yeah.
Magnus and Alchemist. A very nice combination when you get an Alchemist with a BKB and Empower. Of course, I mean, you will get 6 slots in your Alchemist if the game goes longer than 30, 40 minutes, which is what happens with LGD every single time. So they're going to make sure that the Alchemist will have all he wants. But on top of that, you add a cleave, quite a big cleave. And you also add, what is plus 80 damage at level 4? It's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage, right?
Yeah.
So it's really scary. You see an Alchemist walking towards you. Alchemist, insane move speed with the build that he was getting there. I don't think. Did he have any movement speed item?
No, I think he treads actually.
I mean,
and no drums or anything.
It felt like he was moving at pretty much perma haste for some reason.
The funny
it's
thing
really
was,
scary.
I actually thought that Zenith did an amazing job of kiting him. That last fight, right when it started, when they go into the base, he BKBs and just charges in, and they start force staffing away, astral imprisonment, the vacuum back as the BKB wears off. But they were only kiting. They weren't doing damage. And during that time, Zenith, they did a lot of damage to the tier 3. They take down the tier 3. They do a lot of damage to the racks. And the next fight, once more under the breach, and they finish the job.
Yeah. But anyways.
But it was a great series. I mean, it was just such an interesting clash in styles. You have Zenith with their unusual picks and their split push style. And then on the other side, you have LGD. Safe, standard Dota.
Yep.
And in the end, safe, standard Dota.
Apparently
it prevails
works.
for today, at least.
I don't know. I mean, LGD China, we're going to talk about this in a little bit probably, but they will be playing DK. And
Yeah,
I'm not sure if they will be able. We can show the brackets right now.
It's actually a great time. Let's take a look at the brackets and see what's coming up.
I'm not sure if LGD China playing like they play today can beat DK.
I don't think that works against DK unless you just draft greedier.
Yeah.
And DK doesn't punish you. Now, DK is not, I would say they're not the best team to punish greedy drafts, but at the same time, if it gets into a late game farm war, these two teams, I feel like LGD China isn't pushing their advantage enough. That's my big criticism of them.
I mean, they're playing so safe.
It's too safe.
Yeah, and I mean, okay, they're playing safe in the terms that they don't want to push straight away. They will wait until they have their advantage. But at the same time, it's not that they're not committing mistakes. They made quite a few during these 2 matches today. I mean, especially supports being a bit out of position sometimes. Just choosing the wrong moments to push. Some clever wording by Zenith gave them vision on who was doing what at one point in the game, or at least 40 minutes into the game. The problem was that Zenith couldn't capitalize on all of LGD's China's mistake because Zenith were doing mistakes of their own. Now I think DK is a much more stable team. They have one loose gun.
Loose Cannon ROTK. That's a good nickname for it.
Yeah, loose cannon ROTK. You never know what's going to happen. I know that you really like the guy. I think that he's very, very hit or miss. Sometimes even in the same game. It's not like he has off games. He has off minutes.
He's such a funny clash between ROTK and you. Then you compare him to the rest of DK, and it's just the rest of them are so reliable. And then RTK, you never know which one you're going to get. But even when he's dying a lot and feeding the courier to the enemy team, he's had his moments. But overall, I think he does bring a lot to the table. And he's that guy who will just say, screw it, we are going in, and we're going in now. And that's something LGD China don't always seem to have. So I feel like RTK, he could be the key to that series. But we do have another series coming up today, and it's a good one. It's an exciting one. It's going to be Navi versus tongfu, best of 3. We actually have a little bit of time here, so I think we'll take a very quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll preview the match.
Sounds great.
So guys, stay tuned. Navi versus tongfu, best of 3, coming up after these messages.